everybody. Hopefully everybody had a Merry Christmas. I did. I just came back from my parents' house and couldn't ask for a better Christmas. Topic of this video and the main reason for this video is one of my listeners asked me a very interesting and very good question on why I still invest in silver. And the reason why he asked me this question is that he saw a video that I just made. Is precious metals really a preservation of wealth? And then he sees me just do an unboxing after that video of me unboxing 2 5-ounce American the Beauty Mount Rushmore coins. So it got a little confusing about me talking about silvers may not be the best investment for preservation of wealth, but yet I'm still investing in it. So that was a great question, and it deserves a video because it's a long one. I did give him a short, quick response and a write back, like I always do to everybody. And so here's the answer. First of all, what other investment is more appealing to me than precious metals? Or what other investment is really better than precious metals in this world today? And I don't really see anything. People are talking about stock markets. It's all-time high. I'm not buying it. I'm not going to be a sucker and a fool and put my money in that, and then a black swan comes over like it always has and steal all your wealth in there. People lost massive amount of money. Some people lose all their money and then still got to put more money into it. As there was a movie I just saw the other day about the stock market, the Wall Street guy. You start shooting everybody. It was a very interesting video. He gave it to some stockbroker. He put it into some real estate business, and it went broke. He lost everything. Plus, he had to pay another $60,000 on top of that. Had to get a lawyer to try to get him out, and that even failed. This is real, true life situation, especially when you short something. If you're short and you lose everything, you still owe people money still. So you can lose all the money you put in the stock markets, and you can still get a letter saying, listen, buddy, you're not done yet. We want more money from you. That doesn't happen in precious metals. I'm down $5,000-$6,000 right now in precious metals, but you know what? I still got all my metals, and I'll get a letter to my door stating, hey, listen, you owe me more money. And the precious metals can easily go back to those prices in a couple of months from now. And I'm sure, and eventually it will go back to those prices and then some. So we'll be on the upper side eventually. So this is my only first investment. So I'm going to get a little stressed out. So I'm looking at certain things of why these precious metals are crashing and what did they do in the history. As Mike Maloney and Chris Duane and Andy Hoffman will never ever talk to you about or mention. They're only trying to brainwash you like they did to me in the beginning about all the great stuff, okay? So stay away from the stock markets. I don't believe that. And even though it's at the all-time high, let's take a quick look real quick before I leave that subject. Look around you. Look at all your neighbors, your friends, your cousins, your families. People are struggling in this world today. People are getting second jobs to make ends meet. We're buying less product. We're saving less money, okay? This is the reasons why companies are downsizing or completely going bankrupt, because we're spending less of our money in non-necessities. We're spending most of our money on food, rent, or mortgages, and the necessities of energy and all it takes to keep our house and apartments running properly and our family happy and warm. And this is why these companies are going down. So how could the stock markets be going up and up and up? And all these companies either downsizing or completely going bankrupt and disappearing goodbye. Like Hostess Twinkies. Seriously? Twinkies? Everybody eats Twinkies. How can a company like that go bankrupt? Oh wait, they said inflation. But the Federal Reserve says there's not enough inflation. They want more. Well, if they add food and energy into their stats for inflation, they would understand that inflation is not low, it's too high, and they know it. They own this world, they make everything. Of course, that's why they don't add the food and energy to the inflation, because they don't want to look like fools and idiots like they don't know what they're doing. People like us who are smart know they don't know what they're doing. Even though they own the world and they do know what they're doing, they're just stealing the wealth from us. They're playing dumb, but they're being stupid. Okay? That's why I don't put my money in the stock market, because it's fake. There's no way the stock market could be an all-time high and all these companies downsizing or going bankrupt. The economy's getting worse and worse and worse. Not better. And anybody says the economy is getting better is a fool. Has been fooled. Okay? Secondly, what else are you going to put in? Bonds? Don't think so. Those yields are less than inflation, so that's an automatic loss. Housing is a great investment. Land is the most important thing to own in this world, as it is the best investment, because you can't make any more land. The land is here on earth, and that's all there is. Okay? And all the wealthiest investors in the world invested in land. I personally don't have enough money for land. I'm hoping my precious metals would rise extremely in an asset class one day, and the land asset class would devalue itself, and I can take full advantage of the situation and get some land myself. So I'm hoping that works out one day. It's done it a few times in life, I'm sure, so I'm hoping I can run into that again. So that's the reason why I don't invest in anything else but precious metals. Keeping the money in the bank? Don't think so. All the banks are doing is getting all your money, your deposits, and they're making the money by giving out the loans and keeping the interest, as they're giving you nothing. They're giving you pennies, less than pennies on your dollar. They're keeping all the profits and laughing at you. And if their investments fail, they steal the money from you, as they did in the bailouts. And now they're doing bail-ins in Europe, and it's going to be coming over here to America, because Canada and the United States already mentioned that if one of our two main banks crash, bail-ins are in. Okay, so it's already in their books for bail-ins. So if you got some money and you're keeping it in the bank, I'm going to feel sorry for you when those bail-ins come in and those banks are closed and you can't get any of your money out. Don't trust my money in the bank. I just keep just enough money to pay my rent and my bills every month. Become your own central bank. And that's what I do with gold and silver. Any extra money you have, buy more gold and buy more silver. If something major comes up, I gotta sell it, then I'll sell it for money. But my money's not staying in the bank. No. So, the other reasons why I invest in gold and silver is I truly believe that there will be a gold standard once again. I believe China will probably be the first one. They're buying as much more gold than any other country in existence has ever done. It's a record amounts of gold that they're buying. And I do believe they're going to be the first currency to go back to it, which is why they want to probably become the world currency by backing their gold up. And Russia, probably going to be right next to them. Brazil, the BRICS nations, should I say, Brazil, India, and South Africa, they probably all might do the same thing with a whole bunch of other countries, like Australia wants to get on board. They're waiting for a few more countries to get on board, and they'll probably make a big move as they keep buying and producing all this gold. Okay, so, and Mike Maloney made a video about that he even said by every dollar that's in existence today in the United States, that if they went back to the gold standard and backed every dollar that's in existence in the United States, that gold would be around $15,000 an ounce. If we go back to the average of 15-to-1 ratio of gold to silver, when it was real money as you used it in coins, then silver would be about $1,000 an ounce. Okay, it might not be that high. Silver may be around 500, 700, I believe, somewhere in that range. Somewhere around where palladium is right now. I think maybe it'd go back to 30-to-1 ratio. It could easily go down to a 15-to-1 to $1,000 an ounce. Hey, that'd be great. It's more for me. Okay, so that's why I also invest in precious metals, because you don't know what the future currency is going to be, and I truly believe that it's going to be backed by precious metals, like it once was. Money in hand. That's exactly what I like, because we had a blackout here 2 years ago, and the banks were closed for over 24 hours, and people couldn't get their money out of the bank. The ATMs didn't have any power. If there's ever a bail-ins, the banks are closed. You can't get your money out. If there's ever a catastrophe, like another 9/11, banks were closed for like a week. You couldn't get your money out. There's many areas why I don't like to have my money in a bank, because when it's closed and the ATMs don't work, you cannot get your wealth. And besides, once you put your money in a bank or give the bank your money, it's no longer your money, it's the bank's money, which is why the bank only keeps 10% of your wealth on hand just in case you want to deposit. So not everybody can go at the bank at the same time and get their money. They don't have it. So put your wealth in precious metals, and you know you'll always have it. Okay? Very simple. So that's why I do that. And also I'm going to add in that it probably is a preservation of wealth too. I did a video about value versus price, or price versus value. Well, I did the prices from Kitco, from all the way back from the 1700s today, about how silver was very scary and it showed very few good moments in time to be a preservation of wealth, and gold had a few scary moments, although it had a lot of good preservation of wealth during the price frame. But how about the actual true value, which is the most important thing of these metals, which very few people talk about? You hear Andy Hoffman and Chris Duane and Mike Maloney talking a lot about the value, the prices of it. But Mike Maloney did mention, and he's the only one I did actually know that did mention this too much, is the value of the metals. And he's the one that got me to look into that. It's not the price you want of the metal, it's the value of it. So if the metals did back in this 1800s and early 1900s crash, but what was the value of those metals at the time? Did it still buy you more than it did when it was higher, or did it still buy you less? So you did lose your preservation of wealth. As today, the price of silver and gold is going down and the price of everything else is going up. So it is a loss of preservation of wealth at this specific time. Okay? So different time frames do have a big impact on preservation of wealth. It had a lot of bad points, silver back in the day, per price, but what was the value? Okay? And I believe the value of that is probably going to be a lot better in the future. I just see it, man. Going back to a back currency, the economies are just crashing around here. The value of things are just going down, and natural resources are starting to get more scarce and scarce. Even though there's plenty of silver in this world. I'm sure there's plenty of gold still in this earth, but it's getting more and more expensive to get out of this earth, including oil and everything else. Natural resources, with more people in this world, is becoming harder to get your hands on. So these are the main reasons why I invest in precious metals. What do you think the price is going to be in about 10 years? If this economy keeps staying, could it possibly last this long? Average price of silver could be easily $40. I think that's a very good explanation, or a good estimate. I don't think that's out of the ballpark. I'm not going to go $200-300. I'll say double, just like it did last 10 years. Just look at that way from what it did the last 10 years. It keeps doubling every 10 years. That's preservation of wealth. It's not going to make you rich, but it's going to at least be better than losing everything in your stock market like they do. Or even houses. You buy a house now that's $300,000, and then it crashes down to $200,000, and you still got a mortgage to pay that the house is at $300,000. You're underwater, okay? And you can lose a house if you don't pay the taxes, even if you get done. Precious metals is yours, okay? The only way you can lose your precious metals is if they confiscate it or make it illegal for citizens to own, like they did back in '33. But other than that, precious metals is the best way, and to me the only investment to have your money in. Protecting it against the banks, you're protecting it against inflation, you're protecting yourself in a lot of ways. Buy yourself a nice safe, keep it secure. Don't brag to your friends that you got this, okay? Don't brag to your even family members, because the family members can start talking to other people. You keep it silent, okay? I make a few videos here. I'm not the person that has like 5,000 ounces of silver. People aren't going to be coming to my house to rob it. I don't have enough to risk it and get guns, okay? I'm just waiting to get approved for my handguns and my assault rifle guns. I already looked into an AR-15, and the Sega shotgun looked pretty good too. So, protection in all ways. And love and peace to everybody. And hopefully that answers all your questions who told me this question. So keep stacking like I will. Thank you.